A quiet dirt road cutting through the African savanna. The sky is burning orange with sunset. A modern U.S. Recon Patrol moves carefully, 2 Humvees, a dozen soldiers, scanning the terrain for threats. But what they don't know is that they're already being watched. Hidden in the tall grass, crouched low, are 100 Zulu warriors. Their shields are raised, assegai spears clutched tight. Not a word is spoken, just steady breaths and beating hearts. These are men trained to fight up close, to overwhelm with speed, numbers, and raw courage. Tonight, they aren't stalking rival tribes or colonial soldiers armed with muskets. They're about to ambush one of the most modern fighting forces on Earth. So the question is simple, but terrifying. What happens when the deadliest warriors of the 19th century charge straight into the 21st? First, let's break down the Zulu. The Zulu kingdom under Shaka Zulu wasn't just another tribe, it was a military machine. Warriors drilled daily, fought barefoot, and carried weapons designed for one purpose: close combat. Their primary weapon, the assegai, was a short stabbing spear deadly at arm's length. Combined with a cowhide shield nearly as tall as a man, they could deflect blows and close distance fast. But their true strength wasn't the weapon, it was the system. The Zulu fought in disciplined regiments called impis, each made up of hundreds or thousands of men. They moved with formations like the famous horns of the buffalo. The chest pinned the enemy, the horns encircled, and the loins the reserve waited to strike. At the Battle of Isandlwana in 1879, over 20,000 Zulu warriors crushed a British force armed with rifles, bayonets, and artillery. Against black powder and slow reloads, they could win. Against automatic rifles and armored vehicles, that's a whole new battlefield. Now the modern patrol. A recon patrol isn't heavy armor or rare support, it's a scouting unit, maybe 12 to 16 soldiers, spread between 2 or 3 Humvees. Their job is to gather intelligence, not to fight a pitched battle. On paper, they're vulnerable, but every soldier carries an M for carbine, 30 rounds per magazine, semi-automatic or full auto, effective out to 500 meters, grenades, pistols, body armor, and most importantly, radios. If things go bad, backup is just one call away. And then there's the vehicle. A Humvee can mount a machine gun like the M240 or even the .50 caliber square meter Browning. The M240 spits out 600 rounds per minute. The Browning can punch through walls, vehicles, and anything resembling a shield. So while the patrol looks small, its firepower is massive. The ambush begins. The Zulu warriors erupt from the tall grass with terrifying speed, shields banging, war cries splitting the air. 100 men surging forward in a wave of raw human power. For a split second, the soldiers freeze. Ambushes are designed to shock, and this one does. But then training takes over. The first soldier drops to a knee, sights in, and fires. Then another. Within seconds, automatic fire cuts through the charge. Spears clatter to the dirt. Shields collapse. Warriors fall. Still, the Zulu keep coming. They've faced gunfire before and learned that the only way to win is to close the distance. 10 meters. -1 meters. A few make it close enough to hurl their spears. One soldier takes a glancing hit. Another is forced into hand-to-hand combat. The fight turns desperate for a moment until the Humvee's machine gun spins up. The sound is deafening. The effect is devastating. Entire lines of warriors are shredded in seconds. But here is the thing. The Zulu don't quit. History shows they were relentless, charging again and again even under heavy fire. If the terrain favors them, dense bush, rocky outcrops, narrow passes, they could strike from multiple sides at once. Suddenly, the patrol isn't just shooting forward, it's surrounded. And that's where numbers matter. A modern soldier has more firepower, but he can't cover every angle. While Hayes reloading, a warrior could close the distance. If communications fail, if the radio is destroyed, if the machine gun jams, suddenly the advantage shifts. Fear plays a role too. Imagine being 12 soldiers against 100 screaming fighters, charging from every direction. Even with rifles, panic can set in. Mistakes happen, and one mistake in an ambush is all it takes. So who wins? On open ground, it's no contest. The patrol's firepower is overwhelming. Dozens of Zulu would fall before they got within spear range. The survivors would break off or be cut down. But in perfect conditions, a night attack, dense cover, coordinated waves of charges, it's possible the patrol could take losses. A few soldiers dead, maybe even a vehicle disabled. Still, the technology gap is just too wide. The Zulu cannot sustain an attack against automatic rifles, machine guns, and body armor. In the end, the patrol almost certainly survives. The warriors almost certainly don't. But the story isn't just about who wins. It's about what it means. The Zulu warrior was a product of his time, a fearless fighter who could run 20 miles, fight all day, and never break. Against muskets, he was unstoppable. Against modern weapons, he becomes a tragic mismatch. One side carries spears and shields. The other carries radios, night vision, and guns that can fire hundreds of rounds per minute. Courage meets technology, and courage alone isn't enough. So maybe the real question isn't who wins, but what happens when eras collide. Could bravery, strategy, and sheer willpower ever overcome advanced weapons? Or is technology always the final word?